quartering of British troops in the homes of Dutch families proved as unpopular as it was in the United States prior to the American Revolution. In order to appease the Dutch homeowners, the barracks would send young boys out to play drums in the middle of the town square. This was a signal to the bar owners to turn off the tap and get the troops back to their barracks or their Dutch homes. The Dutch term for turn off the tap is do din tap toe. The term tattoo came to signify the closing of the bars and the return of the troops to the barracks. The preeminent military tattoo is held in Edinburgh, Scotland, in August every year. Bands from around the world come to play during the ceremony. We would like to give you a small example of the military tattoo today. We will start off with our young drummers playing in the midst of the crowd as they would have done 400 years ago to signal the troops to go back to the barracks.
Good morning. It's great to be back here at Bear Trap. And if there's any former 7th Cavalry members, I think you'll recognize that song. It's Gary Owen. When I first heard about the song Gary Owen, I thought it was named after a person. But it actually references an area in Limerick, Scotland. And in the 10th century, there was a Templar church there. And the church was dedicated to John the Baptist. So the term Gary in Irish means garden. The term Owen means John. So the belief is that that comes from an area where that Templar church was once located. So bagpipes became part of the U.S. military because as the Irish came over to the country, they joined the Army in the mid-1800s. So that song was very commonly played by Army cavalry troops. It also was brought into the police as well as the fire department, and you see that in New York and Boston, where the pipes play a big part of those organizations. So the next songs we're going to play is Scotland the Brave, Rowan Tree, and Wings. So Scotland the Brave was the runner-up for the Scottish national anthem, and Rowan Tree refers to a tree that's found in Scotland. It's supposed to have mystical qualities. And the last one, Wings, is a military march. It's very common. It's played in a lot of bands around the world, and so we're going to go ahead and start with those.
Thank you very much. My name is Melissa Bouts. I have the pleasure and just absolute honor to be able to lead this band. I am what they call the pipe major of the band. We also have obviously 7 other pipers behind us who work hard every week to get these tunes practiced, and of course our wonderful drummers. The band started in the wake of 9/11. So In 2001, there was a small group of bagpipers in Lander that I was teaching, and they were all beginners. One of them is here, Fire Chief Johnston on your left. That was obviously 20 years ago. And after 9/11 happened, people may recall that there was a lot of desire to do whatever we could on a local basis. And one of the things that all the pipe bands across North America did at that time was to go ahead and say, on October 11th, 1 month after, let's go ahead and play in our local parks as a way to memorialize the lives that were lost. And so our band, our group of 4 pipers, 0 drummers at the time, decided to do that. So we did that in Lander, and that after that performance, we decided that we needed to be a real band, you might say. And that was the band when the band formally started. And over the years, we have performed at hundreds of memorials, veterans, first responder memorials across the central Wyoming region, also into Cheyenne and Casper, well, Casper's part of that. And about 10 years ago, the Casper Pipes and Drums band that is associated and still is associated with the Casper Fire Department got together with the Lander group, and we started working together. And today, the people you see here, we have one member of that actual fire department band from Casper, right here, Paul. Yep. Thank you, Paul. And the rest of us, aside from Fire Chief Johnston from Lander, are not members of the actual firefighters groups, but we are under the umbrella of the fire departments. So this group meets twice a week to practice. The youth drummers that you see and adult drummer that you see are part of those practices, of course. A lot of band members get instruction from people who are out of town via online classes because we don't have the in-house expertise to actually teach drumming skills very much. We're building them. So that's the story there. I think on average the band members participate in about 30 memorials per year. Most of those are veteran memorials. So that's what our mission is. In addition to supporting the vets and the first responders, it's also to spread the Scottish heritage of the tradition of piping and drumming. And we try to keep it at a very high level so that we can sound good. That's the story of the band.
So the next series is going to be Green Hills and After the Battle. And Green Hills actually refers to an area in southern France, northern Italy, and it's changed hands over the years depending on who won the last war, but it refers to a very scenic area of southern or northern Italy. And then the other one is After the Battle. So the Jerry Behrens Foundation, which supports first responders, you may have heard about it, and the Lander Volunteer Fire Department have kind of partnered together to help promote first responder causes in the state. The foundation itself was established by Casper Orthopedics, and I'm one of the surgeons there. And currently the foundation has established a scholarship at Casper College, and it provides tuition to either to current or former first responders for tuition at Casper College. We also this year do a fundraising to get tickets for first responders, and this year we were able to get 300 tickets for healthcare workers and first responders. I think we had 80 for the police, for the Casper Police, 80 for the sheriffs, I think 30 for the fire department, and some of the other law enforcement agencies. So I figure they're all here, and so the roads must be clear. So I don't. And I would like to thank the following organizations for assisting us with that sponsorship. And that's the Wyoming Behavioral Institute, Elkhorn Valley Hospital, Summit Medical Center, Banner Wyoming Medical Center, Casper Orthopedics, Precision Prosthetics, Zach Dillon, Brian Foro, and Casper Orthopedics Physical Therapy. And my brother, who was doing the narration, and my dad both contributed to provide tickets for the first responders. So the next set is called the We March set, and it consists of 3 songs: The Roses of Prince Charlie, which is actually a modern Scottish folk song, and Castle Dangerous, similar to After the Battle's retreat march, typically played by bands as they return to the barracks. And Mary's Wedding actually dates back about 150 years or so, and it was originally written in Gaelic, and it's played at weddings. So next is the We March set.
sacrifices of the first responders and the service they provide for their communities. The first song, The Bells of Dunblane, has become the song of the fallen firefighter both nationally and internationally. The second song, Going Home, is a song based on Dvorak's No. 9 Symphony and is traditionally played at military funerals. The lyrics have a message of finding peace in the afterlife. The third song, Amazing Grace, is the only song today that is set to an American melody. The words are written by John Newton and speak of faith, hope, and redemption. This year, the band would like to introduce the audience to the bells ceremony played with the bells of Dunblane. The Lander Volunteer Fire Department would like to dedicate this year's bell ceremony to Nixon David. Nixon was a young member of the band who passed away 1 month ago after a motor vehicle accident. He was a member of the band, and he will be missed by all. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the bell ceremony.
Good morning. Throughout most of the 200-year fire history, or history of the firefighter, the bell has been closely associated with that service. As they began their tour of duty, it was the bell that started the shift. Throughout the day and night, each alarm was sounded by the bell, which called them to duty and placed their lives in jeopardy for the good of their fellow person. And when the call had ended, it was the alarm, when the call had ended and the alarm was completed, it was the bell ringing 3 times, 3 sets of 3 times, that signaled the end of that shift. Now we play the bell ceremony for memorials, firefighter memorials, and it's that same set of 3 bell rings, followed by the bells of Dunblane. We celebrate their life and the indication that their job is done well, and they are off duty, and we've got it from here.
So that concludes this morning. As was mentioned, we're establishing a Nixon David Scholarship That's going to be through the Lander Fire Department Association. And the purpose of this is to provide young youth members instruction in bagpipes and drums. So we have some volunteers for donations. If you want to donate, there's no pressure on doing this. But we would like to keep his memory in mind, and also try to keep his memory in mind through the development of young pipers for our band. It's always hard to train new pipers and to get people to commit the time. And we just want to make it easier for our youth members to get the instruction and to be part of the band and to support our first responders in the state. It's been kind of a long year for our nation, also for first responders and healthcare workers, and you may be in for a little bit of trouble over the next couple months as well. We just like to keep the people of our nation in your prayers, keep the first responders in your prayers, and also keep Nixon David in your prayers. Our next concert will be, at least here in Casper, will be at Casper College. Our plan is to do a Christmas concert there, and this is to support the scholarship that we established at Casper College for first responders. We continue to build on that scholarship and donate money, and we appreciate your time today. And if you have any questions for any of the band members or anything about the pipes, feel free to come up and ask. And we just appreciate your time. Thank you.